Hey guys, Shop Talk Podcast.
I'm a zero pro guy.
I did it, yeah. I ran a marathon.
You only crank screw?
Am I the town hero?
3 laps of that are just... Okay.
Hey guys. It's you guys again. This is Shop Talk Podcast, episode 43.
Yep.
We're clicking them off now. This one's brought to you by, yet again, Dyrdahl Straw. They're looking for straw acres to bale this upcoming harvest season in the northern Minnesota area. From Red River Valley to Thief River to Gonvick, they'll pay you per bale in the windrow. Sounds like a pretty good deal, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Contact Dylan Dorn at 507-696-1137 for all your information. And also Dorn Trucking for all your step deck, flatbed trucking needs in the Midwest. I think that's a pretty slick deal that he's got there.
Yeah. And I would say this is probably Dylan's last sponsored episode. Okay. Unless he wants to do more, Dylan, let us know. But yeah, harvest season is like
upon us.
It's upon us pretty much.
Yeah.
Maybe have one more week until it's wide open.
Yeah, so I'm sure they'll do like the pre-beat hauling or whatever, and then it'll be full swing in a couple weeks.
Yeah, because already the wheat is almost purely golden.
Mm-hmm.
Here, you got another read here to do, Kyle.
Okay.
One other quick one.
All right. So another sponsored us another episode, but we got another one. North Star Floor Service. Owner-operator, Jesse Hallstrom, starting a business.
Well, I forgot to mention in the last episode, he still does do a little bit of the pressure washing.
Okay.
Because he was North Star pressure washing.
Okay. All righty. So North Star Floor Service. He offers concrete floor resurfacing, and polishing. If you're looking to have your shop floor smooth and dust-free and easy to clean up, polished concrete floors are the way to go. Also, any small businesses, warehouse, restaurants, and offices needing floor cleaning, stripping, refinishing, or waxing, Jesse has the equipment for that also. Call or text Jesse at 218-689-7486 for more information.
Nice.
And Jesse's around the Thief River area.
Yep. So I'm sure he's pretty mobile with his equipment. So
he did not give me a specific mileage he would drive for jobs.
Okay.
So
yeah,
should I do that in here?
Somebody in Iowa and Wisconsin, call Jesse.
Yeah, we should have tried to get that as part of the sponsorship. To do the studio here.
The floor of the studio.
I forgot to bring up in this episode, we're going to talk about the Vintage National show last weekend. And then also we did a little dirt biking, stuff like that. So Vintage Nationals, what a show. 2024 in Duluth. Mm-hmm. And it's a traveling show every year. We were fortunate enough to have it close. So Duluth, we made the weekend trip. Went and made a day trip out of it. Got to meet the Carbide podcast guy while we were there.
Yeah.
So that was pretty neat.
I bet it was.
Yeah.
We got to meet Spencer.
Yeah. So we hung out with him for quite a while, reminisced about some stuff, and got to check out some old sleds. What did you think, like, being, like, your first big show?
So, like, I'd went to the Artie Cat 60th last year,
mm-hmm.
and that was kind of the first more vintage show I'd been to, I guess. And then, this one, it was all sleds. I actually thought it was going to be bigger.
Yeah, it seems like, so I went to the one, they didn't have one last year, but the year prior was in Boonville, New York area, and that's a big racing haven out in the East Coast side of things. The one in New York seemed to have quite a bit more,
really?
From what I remember.
Huh.
But I don't know if it's because like they don't get the opportunities that they do here, because we have shows like, summer long, like there's shows in the summer even, and then like all winter long, like every weekend there's a vintage snowmobile show. So I don't know if like that kind of why there was more there than in New York than in Duluth, but it was still a pretty sweet turnout. Like some of the machines there were ungodly restored. So like so there was quite a few of them where every nut and bolt had been like, had to make it perfect.
Yeah.
Like even like clutch weights and your pins and everything are all brand new, and that all starts to pile up so freaking fast when you're restoring a vintage sled. And yeah, it's just unreal some of the time that these guys got into the machines.
Oh, yeah.
And then you have to start with a good bare bones. So like it has to be a clean machine for them to start with, and then to restore it to absolute perfection. It's pretty sweet.
That Polaris oval sled that was all chromed out.
Yeah.
The chain case covers and everything, the clutches.
It was a 79 RXL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I took multiple pictures of that one.
Yeah. It's pretty neat what they start getting into them. So like, I don't know that I'll ever have a machine on that level, because I kind of like a good survivor machine.
Yeah.
You know? So like it tells its story.
Yeah.
So like that's like my 72 Mercer sled. I'll never fix that one like to be perfect, just because it tells so many stories the way it is original.
Yeah.
And it's so unique.
Like you were bummed about washing all the old grease off.
I know. Yeah. Like there had to be like at least 10 years of like, well, it's probably like 5 years of hard racing.
Really?
Yeah. Because what it looks to be, you know, after that machine was, so I have a 72 Starfire that was originally Dorothy Mercer's sled, and I have pictures of it at Eagle River and Ironwood, Michigan at all these oval races. But it looks to be after they were done racing it, somebody else, it could have been multiple people, raced it really hard the following years. So it just kind of goes to show what those sleds were doing after the factory was done with them.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of a neat, kind of unique story behind that sled alone. So I'll just leave it the way it is. So, but yeah, like a lot of these old race sleds are getting fixed up to be, you know, better than what they were at the factory. And it's neat to see like the hard work and stuff to go into them, but it doesn't really tell the story of what an original does.
Yeah.
So like, that's kind of why I like my machines to be kind of survivors.
Yeah.
So
Like when we walked in there was that like the 79 Snow Pro, the 80 Snow Pro.
yeah,
What like Herf had talked about that he was had a big collection of those, and those are sweet. Like they're awesome to look at. And like I even sent Herf the one picture of the one because it was his dream sled. He
Bob Elsner's 80 Snow Pro.
Yeah, but you said that wasn't the original.
I don't know if it was the original.
Oh, okay.
If it was the original, I wouldn't have restored it to perfection.
Sure.
That's kind of what I was going off of.
I see. So yeah, those are cool, but like they're too. The vintage stuff is different to me because I'd want something I could ride.
Yeah.
Like I guess I don't have the room to just put a sled there and just sit there and look at it. Like I'd like a cool vintage sled that's maybe beat up a little bit that you could maybe take up and down the trail if you wanted to for a little trail ride to Leonard and back or something.
Yeah, that would be fun. So that's kind of like what I talk about is like the survivor stuff.
Yeah,
I guess.
But like there's those ones that are like pristine that they don't even touch snow anymore.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And you get that in the car industry too.
Yeah.
You know, so like if somebody's got a limited production car,
Yeah.
they
never drive them. Yeah.
Polished brake rotors.
Yeah, they leave them in the trailer, and it's like, well, I know there's like flack in the industry on like whether you're supposed to drive them or not supposed to drive them and what you want to do with them. It's like, well, they were intended to be rode and drove.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, it was really cool to see a lot of the history there. There was a lot of like one-off stuff. Like I don't want to talk about just race stuff or just like the model of sleds that were there. Like it really varies. They had so many classes. Like when we looked at the trophies, there was like 20 classes.
Yeah.
So
Damn.
yeah, it's hard to like pinpoint like which ones would be your favorite. So, but I don't know if they do like a People's Choice Award still, but that would kind of be like the overall,
the most unique one almost. Sure.
Yeah. So
well, that would vary so much to everybody's different opinions on so many sleds. But like, so yeah, I thought it would have been a little bit bigger. but just kind of compared to the Arctic Cat 60th, that was all Arctic Cats last year.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was just all sorts of sleds this year. What really surprised me, Brody, was Kyle's vintage knowledge. Was like just unreal.
Well, it's the perfect showcase for it to really see how far the edges really, go.
Like we leaned down and we looked at some Polaris, and you said, "Yeah, you see this this caliper, this factory vented caliper here. They only did this for 1 year."
Yeah, it was a machine caliper from a 71 TX, and only the racers had that. It was like a billet caliper, but it's kind of unique because they had a cable brake lever, but it went down to a master cylinder, and then it took over from hydraulic from there. So the cable actually pulled on a master cylinder. It's like, well, why just put the freaking master cylinder on the handlebar?
But yeah, when you pointed that out to me, I was like, okay, like, because you could see that it was like, it had cooling fins on it and everything. And like for me, I wouldn't have even known the difference.
You're thinking, how autistic is Kyle?
That's the one thing I was gonna say. I don't know what it is that kind of takes over, but it's like obsessive.
Yeah. No.
Or what about that Kawasaki? That
the Shark.
Yeah,
the Shark.
And then you said all of them got destroyed.
Well, that's kind of the myth. Like, it's a myth, is what it is.
Sure.
So
God, you're so deep, you know myths about vintage sleds.
Well,
what the hell?
So the Kawasaki race team had a really badass machine. I think it was the 76 year when Snow Pro was huge. Like, the ovals were huge in 76.
Yeah.
And that's when the industry was just booming, clicking out IFS machines, and there were still some companies were racing leaf spring machines, but I can't imagine what Eagle River looked like for the Formula 3 class is today we see snowcross engines and stuff like that, but Formula 3 back in the day, the Snow Pro was any concept that you can come up with and make a badass machine.
Yeah.
It was booming, and these Kawasaki Sharks were a really competitive machine in that, and they didn't make very many of them, I know, and no original is known to this day. But the Kawasaki snowmobiles were made down by the cities, and they say the word was when Kawasaki snowmobiles were done making sleds, I forget what year, it was 80s. Mm-hmm. Right around that lull where Arctic Cat was shut down, stuff like that. Kawasaki quit making snowmobiles at the same time. Well, they say word on the street is that all these Kawasaki Sharks that were dominating the track would have been a badass machine. We're in the factory when they quit producing Kawasaki snowmobiles. Well, they say they just tore the building down right then and there and leveled it off, dozed it all down, completely nothing. So that's the myth that these old Kawasaki race sleds and stuff were just destroyed,
demolished with the building.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's it's kind of neat to see them machines, because nobody has one that was what they were.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I've seen a lot of people make chassis and stuff and put that fiberglass on them, and then either put a Kawasaki engine in them or whatever. But it's really, really neat to see people getting creative with it.
Yeah. No, I thought that's what I said. I was like, could you imagine if Kawasaki was still making snowmobiles?
It'd be sweet. And they definitely could have done it, I think. So
they're still a big enough company to where they could have been just like a Yamaha or a Suzuki.
Yeah.
God, yeah, Suzuki making
look
sleds.
At Suzuki had engineers, like what Joey Hallstrom was saying, the engine engineers.
Yeah.
In
Thief River.
In Thief River. So kind of makes you think, would Kawasaki have gone that route?
Yeah.
And kept making engines, because they did have good engines back in the day.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that we talked about with Herf, that 2014 engine in their race sleds.
Yeah,
good.
Yeah, and that was a Suzuki, and after that it was done.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
That's funny. Just bringing up our last Joey Hallstrom, Herfindahl, and then Kyle Defoe last weekend. we have a pretty good run of 3 guests here.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's been pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I hope you guys are enjoying the show. We're gonna,
Because we certainly are.
yeah.
This is freaking weird.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, yeah, like at the show, we got to bump into, obviously Spencer and Aaron Shield was there. Anson Shield was there.
Yeah. I was kind of bummed that Aaron Shield didn't know who I was.
Yeah.
I know how Kyle feels.
He was a Pine Lake guy.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if I should have been, like, if he would have known me from racing, being that I've been the top Pine Lake contender and contender at the Sioux.
But it seems like, I'm not talking, but they're snowcross. They're heavy into snowcross.
Yeah, with Anson, yes.
Yeah.
So then I was like, well, why would he know who I was if there's snowcrossers?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, damn it.
Yeah. But it's really neat. Aaron builds LT Grays, the same thing as what like my family is into. So it's kind of neat to follow a factory, back in the day when Aaron was racing big time, he was into LT Grays and stuff. So it's kind of neat to follow his, like all of his builds and stuff like that. So
yeah, that was a pretty fun conversation with them and Spencer standing right there. So it was pretty cool to talk about old sleds and then also talk about Anson's new snowcross stuff with Skidoo. So yeah, that was pretty cool. And I told Spencer that when we were walking, he was like, damn it, I wish you would have knew who I was or knew about the podcast. Yeah. Because like we had just talked about him with Joey Hellstrom because he was on that list of riders I asked Joey about. So I thought he would have probably, if he did know about it, he would have got a kick out of that.
One thing me and Colin were kicking ourselves over, we didn't ask him when he folded the tunnel over with his ass.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that story that Joey told. Yeah. That would have been a good one to ask.
Yeah, totally. Well, when you're in the moment.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, a lot of podcast analytics talked over with Spencer.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Spencer's doing his thing out there.
Yeah. He was there he was there on media.
Yeah.
Carbide podcast media.
Research media. Yeah.
He's getting into the film,
Yeah, he did a really good reel or TikTok there of the Snow Pro Mike.
Yeah.
We met Snow Pro Mike.
Yeah, really, really neat collection like what the history of the Arctic Cat Snow Pros were. So like that's kind of like, being a Polaris guy, the Arctic Cat Snow Pros are like the coolest thing ever to me. So, like because like obviously Polaris has like the Pro 5 stuff, but TS was a part of the Arctic Cat stuff. Yep. So that really intrigues me, because they were building, they're fabricators kind of like, like that's what I look at is like the fabrication and stuff like that and what goes into like designing them and stuff. And that's what those sleds were. Yeah. So it's like, it's not just factory stuff that just gets slapped together and then rode. It's actually crafted. Yep.
They give them they gave TNS the chassis and they just went to work on it, making it better.
Yeah. So that's what I'm really into. It's like one-off stuff that like other people thought was, could be a good idea, and then it turns out to work great. Yeah. So that's what I like to see.
But no, that Snow Pro Mike guy, he knew everything about every single sled he brought there. Yeah. Which was like the A-arms off of this sled were raced on that sled, and like it was crazy the amount of knowledge this guy had about those old sleds. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it is really neat to listen to, because like as we were kids, that's what we watched growing up was those sleds. Yeah. So it's pretty sweet to see.
So. Yeah. No, that was pretty cool. What else? Who else did we run into? Oh, we ran into Dave from Yamaha. Can't remember your last name right now, Dave, but he was there, wrench guy for Team Yamaha for many, many years. Yeah. And when I was out there at the Sioux with him in 2016, he said he listened to the podcast. Good. So shout out, Dave.
Yeah, that's cool. You got to bump into the old mechanic from the Sioux.
We didn't get to bump into
his name.
To Jeff, but Jeff Johnson was there. He's I'd consider him the ultimate Arctic Cat collector, and a lot of knowledge behind him, Jeff Johnson. And his son is Jeremiah, obviously has a great following on social media of putting together groups and stuff to kind of conserve the history of Arctic Cat snowmobiles. Same with Snow Pro Mike. Yep. They do a really good job at doing that. But I put Jeff right up in there as the ultimate
collector.
Yeah, and knowledgeable. Yeah.
Yeah, you brought him up before, and Jeremiah too. Yeah.
Yeah. If you ever get a chance, scroll through Facebook and look up King Cat Racing, or or look at anything that Jeremiah puts together, like the Snow Pro pages and stuff like that. A lot of the collection is on social media. It's really neat to see.
I was surprised you didn't wear your new hat tonight. Your new Pride hat.
Oh, yeah, my Cat's Pride hat.
Did you get a Pride hat?
Oh, I scored so big in the freaking swap meet. I've been looking for one for a long time, but it's all green hat.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the front is purple. It says Cat's Pride, and it's got like a picture of a ZR.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's freaking sweet.
I was expecting rainbows.
No.
You said Pride. No. Okay, cool.
Gene Sovey made a comment about that.
Yeah?
Yeah, he did.
Said Arctic Cat was the original Pride. Like, oh, not bashing Arctic Cat, but kind of fruity.
It didn't age well.
No, it didn't age well. Yeah,
Yeah, they stole that word like they did the rainbow. Yeah.
Yeah. So, looking back at the show, and like we got to see years from the early 50s all the way into the late 80s, what do you think about the ingenuity?
Oh, it was unreal. Like there was that super early Arctic Cat, like from the 60s, that had Roger Skyme's autograph on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just talked about that, like on how long Roger Skyme has been in the industry.
Yeah.
To be there since that one. I can't remember what year that one was.
I think that one was a 64.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
There was 53 Polarises there.
Holy
like 1953 Polarises. Yeah.
There was I didn't see it, but you said there was a JCPenney sled there.
Yep.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
JCPenney.
Yeah.
We talked about that before.
Mm-hmm.
There was one, that nice baby blue one from Sears.
Yep.
That was pretty sweet.
The JCPenney really looked really similar to an Arctic Cat.
Oh,
Are these like one-off sleds that they made?
No, they sold them
So, like,
at
JCPenney?
JCPenney, like in a catalog.
What the hell?
Kind of like a Sears catalog
Yeah.
back in the day, but it was a JCPenney, and they offered a machine. But that's kind of I haven't seen a whole lot of them, but it looked. I'm guessing they were built at Arctic Cat because they looked the exact same, just a little bit different fiberglass on them. So it's kind of neat to see.
Yeah, that's weird.
But
or the blades were pretty cool.
yeah, there was a lot of blades. So yeah.
Blades? I have no idea.
Not the movie.
Well, yeah, that's where my brain went. Marvel Blade. Just saw him in Deadpool.
What did it say that were produced on there? 54 or something like that?
Yeah, and then Spencer said there was a bunch of rumors of 50 to 54 to 57.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. They were just a company that was trying to produce something
different.
Yeah, something.
The motor was totally turned around, so the clutches were on the right-hand side.
And
Whoa, that'd be weird.
Yeah.
totally. And then also V twin 4 strokes.
Was that the Revolt?
Yeah, red line.
Yeah.
But yeah, blade snowmobiles were pretty cool. Totally unique.
The front arm
ends.
front arm geometry on those were really weird.
Yeah.
Just think the V twin 4-stroke is
That was
wild to have too.
in a red line. Yeah. So they're a tubed chassis, like custom, welded tube chassis. They're not like a sheet metal tunnel like what we're used to. They're a tube chassis.
Wow.
Yeah. They're pretty cool to see that many of them in one spot.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that was pretty. Those V twin 4-stroke ones, those were pretty unique.
Yeah,
and like they were very just prototyped.
Yeah,
like they were not put together at all or anything.
It really makes me wonder. Like obviously we have the V twin liquid cooled 4-stroke in like an Indian motorcycle.
Yeah,
but that one looked more like a dirt bike or a quad engine.
Yeah.
So it makes me wonder how that thing performed.
Yeah, or if they ever got it to perform.
Right.
Like if it ever made it to the snow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was just thinking like my Yamaha Bolt has a twin in it.
Yeah.
Like put that in a snowmobile. What would that do?
Well,
Like,
so is my side by side.
Yeah.
Like my Can-Am 4-wheeler.
But how would that do like on the ice?
I bet it sounds sweet.
I bet it would be. Well, like my bike it's all bottom end torque and like. How much pull could you get out of a corner with?
Yeah, if
with
they
a
ever
sled
made
like
a red line revolt in a snowcross sled, what would it be?
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, that would be something there's so many weird questions.
Yeah,
with some
like,
of them went off.
what if?
What about the offset motor one?
Yeah,
I think I had a picture of that one.
Was it a Polaris engine? I think it was what it was. But they extended the bulkhead out to the left-hand side of the... So they extended where your front bar is what it is for your skis. They extended it to the left and then mounted the engine like a foot over or 2 feet over on the left, but you still sat in the original position. So it was just super wide up front, and the engine was on the left-hand side.
So what was their goal there with that
Oval
sled?
racing.
Okay.
So like to keep the weight to the left-hand side of the machine.
73 Starfire 340, one of a kind original.
Yeah, it's really neat to see.
Oh, okay, yeah. Now I picture it. Yeah, that could be an oval sled. Totally.
Yeah, just to keep the weight down. So that really shows like the ingenuity that went into in the early years.
Yeah, that was another one that was pretty cool. More of the unique prototype stuff, I guess, is what I kind of find more intriguing.
What was your like not so much like the prototype and like all the but like what was your favorite? Like the coolest looking one you would want to...
Well, just to have...
Well, not even, let alone have, like, what did you think was cool?
What caught your eye the most?
Yeah.
Put you on the spot here.
Pass. No, I'm just kidding.
Jesus. Can't even answer a question. Come on.
So, like me, I'm a 71 King Cat guy, you know? Like, I really think those are the sweetest looking machines.
Yeah.
And, like, the story behind
Like
them.
them big the
four cylinder that I showed you.
Yep.
Yeah. So I really like those. And, of course, LT Grays, you know, but that's just a production machine.
I don't know. I guess maybe just seeing under the hood of that TNS sled.
Yeah.
Like
the 01 TS built mod.
Yep. Maybe seeing under the hood of that one. That was like, you just don't see stuff like that sometimes.
Yeah, and that one was really kind of neat because it was a D&D engine, but it was just like your basic power valve ZR 600 engine.
But then that Jerry Bunkie sled was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That one was really well put together. And then what the heck? There was other ones. There were you walked around and looked at so many. Like I'm trying to look through my pictures.
Like I really like the 81 Moto Ski Snow Pros too. Did you get a chance to look at them things?
Oh, that whole lineup of orange Moto skis.
No, it was kind of off in the corner a little bit, but there was an 81. They call them a Snow Pro, but yep, that one.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, I took a picture of that one. That one's pretty cool.
When you can make snowmobiles orange.
Yep. Yeah. That was their color. It was orange.
But yeah, like it's weird looking at those old Snow Pros, like the 79 and 80s, on how straight up and down the riser was.
Yeah.
For the handlebars.
Everything was, yeah.
It was so straight up and down, and the handlebars were there. It's like, why wouldn't they have tilted those back? You can't imagine the leverage those guys were putting in, pulling on that thing.
Yeah.
To have it be sitting straight up and down.
Yeah. Right.
To hang off the left hand side.
Yeah. The geometry of the steering arm is like
Straight
90-degree angle to the ground.
Yeah.
And then it's straight rod. It's a straight rod to the front of the machine, and then the rods turn out to go to the skis.
Yeah.
So like, how hard is that to turn? I have no idea.
But I don't know. Like, I don't know. It is hard to say because I'm an Arctic Cat guy.
Yeah.
And so like the cooler ones to me are like the Snow Pro ones.
Yeah.
Or like at the Arctic Cat 60th when PJ Wanderschneid had his champ sled there, or they had that 08 Snow Pro 600 that had 0 miles on it, or that 2014 600 that Herf said still up in the crate up there at the race shop.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Or like Herf's orange I-500 sled.
Yeah.
That doesn't have any miles on it.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Got to see that.
I don't know. So I'd have to say I wouldn't even be able to say.
Yeah, and that
There's so many.
We could pass.
Well, it kind of just brings up the question. So like every sport goes through like their heyday, you know. So like the vintage snowmobile stuff of like the 70s is kind of coming past of its heyday. Like,
Yeah.
it's being the numbers were down and stuff this year, but like, what's going to happen with those machines that are restored perfect?
Yeah.
Like, is the value just going to stay the same, go up, go down? What are people going to do with them? You know, kind of brings up that question. Is somebody going to come across a barn in 50 years and find perfectly restored 1970 snowmobiles?
Yeah, that'd be, or like in 50 years, come across a barn filled with 2000.
Yeah, obviously you could see that happening because it's happening today. But
Yeah.
like those machines that were restored already and brought back to like perfection, you know, like what's going to happen there?
Yeah. Like, yeah, if the vintage people are just going to keep reselling them, or if that collector is just going to have that collection until he's done and then not ever do anything with it.
Right. I imagine that's how it'll go. Like, you carry your collection until you're fucking dead, but then like what happens to it after that?
See, that's just
Is it going to keep getting appreciated?
Oh, sure.
Well, yeah, they'll sell them to a guy like you that still appreciates them. That keeps the kind of appreciation and
But the value of it,
true,
is another thing that factors into.
Yeah.
Is it going to like drop? Because right now you try and go buy a 76 race sled and it's like astronomical.
Yeah, it's 10 times more than what they paid for it back in 76.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just because like, people put the work in and redo them because they're sweet, but like, is the next generation going to appreciate that too?
Oh, sure. That's like with cars. Like cars are the same, but cars are kind of universal.
Yeah.
Universally like liked and cool.
Right. Like everybody can like them things. There's only a explicit market for snowmobiles.
Sure.
So,
but still, I think there'll be people that appreciate them throughout the generations.
Like
maybe it'll go down, but who knows?
Like a 69 Camaro is cool to everybody.
Oh, yeah,
but
totally.
Is a 79 Snow Pro cool to everybody?
I'm sure like the Snow Pro stuff will
Yeah.
keep the same market, but like the Polaris Starfire stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, that's kind of.
Well, it was still so iconic. They had their team, of the Starfire team.
I imagine the market will probably stay the same, but just the following will kind of dimmer down.
Just because the younger generation will know like less and less about them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like definitely like the one-off sleds of like the Mercuries or let's give Brody a snowmobile name, see if it's make one up.
Oh yeah, I'll make one up and then give him a real one.
Yeah.
All
and
right.
see if he knows it or not, or knows which one is real and which one's fake.
Oh, okay. I got a good one. So, okay. Is it Fox Track or is it Viking?
For like a snowmobile
company.
Okay.
A brand.
Fox Track or Viking?
I don't know either of them, so I just got to guess.
Yeah, guess which one.
They both sound plausible.
Yeah.
Fox Track. I don't know. I'll go with Viking. I'll go Viking.
Trick question. They were both.
Okay.
As soon as you said it, I was like, oh, well, we've seen both of them now.
But no, I've seen this game played with like movies.
Yeah.
And,
But that's just one thing. Like, what's going to happen to these one-off sleds?
Yeah.
Like, that nobody knew anything about them.
Like you could look through that whole list and there's 20 names that started with snow.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
a snow twister.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is that real?
Yeah.
Okay.
Built by Mercury.
Yeah.
We were talking if Mercury, they teased it earlier.
Did
if
they?
Mercury
For April Fools. Yeah.
made another snowmobile because they were at the top of the game back in the day, and then they just kind of got out of it.
Yeah. And they totally could too. Like they have
Like, Mercury boat engines.
there's a lot of money in boats.
Yeah.
So like they have money to make a sled.
It'd be neat to see. But yeah, no, it's just pretty sweet to see all that old stuff. If there's a vintage show in your small hometown, go to it.
Yeah. I mean, we left Kyle's house at 4:30 in the morning to go to a snowmobile show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What time did you leave?
I left my house at 3:57 in the morning.
And yeah, that's honestly why I did not go. I wake up at that time every day, and I didn't feel like
You
doing
could
it
have
again.
slept the whole way there.
I slept. Yeah.
Yeah, no go.
Me and Colin were just like two kids. And
Let's get there. We there yet?
yeah, wound tight. Yeah.
But I thought there was something else of who we ran into or talked to but yeah, it was fun. I just thought there would have been more.
Yeah.
Like,
and
do you think there will be more at Polaris 70th anniversary in 2 weeks?
I don't know that there'll be more. I just think there'll be more unique
Sure.
stuff. Kind of like my machine.
Yeah.
And then like stuff like that,
I see.
revolved around the company rather than, so like you'll see it revolved around the company rather than one huge like variety of stuff.
Yeah.
So it'll be kind of neat to.
And it won't be just vintage.
Right.
It'll be, but I mean, like even that Logan Christian sled there was a 2017.
Yeah.
Or 2016 or.
That's still really cool stuff to see.
Yeah.
Because like, it'll be preserved. You know,
That's what pipes were coming out
into the tunnel.
Yeah. Tunnel dump pipes.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty
cool.
neat. Yeah.
But yeah, I thought I had pictures. I took a few pictures of the ones that I just thought were unique that I liked, but that was kind of it. Like we took pictures of this Formula 2.
Yeah. So I talked about that earlier on the show. The chassis is magnesium on them.
Yeah.
And that's a 73 model. So like, look at the
they all look like that?
Yep. There was 100 of them made, and look at the ingenuity, like what went into them things, and like what they were producing that year. So they were really like, you can see that how the route that they were trying to go, like trying to make things faster and cooler, and like the tune pipes on them and stuff.
Said it's hard to keep the pipes.
Yeah, I made a comment. It's hard to keep the pipes hot on that thing.
I was thinking that same thing. Wouldn't that cause an issue? Like exposed pipes on the outside of the sled?
Yeah, when you get going, it's just 20 below wind on the freaking pipe.
Yeah.
Like it looks cool.
Yeah.
But
That's why I took
definitely
a picture of it.
Yeah, exactly. It looks cool and it works on summertime machines, but snowmobile, is that really the best idea to have exposed pipes?
Well, I brought up the comment also. So from that year, 73, and then you get into 78 was when they started coming out with the Snow Pros that we were talking about. So pretty much a 5-year span, they totally revolutionized the industry, and it's kind of like in the 1970s, they were making the modern day snowmobile. Yeah, what they were doing. So it's kind of neat.
Yeah, there's not more improvements almost.
Right. So like you look at a 78 Snow Pro, 78 to 81 Arctic Cat Snow Pro, and then you look at a Champ sled today.
Yeah.
They're really similar.
A lot of things stayed the same.
Yeah. Right. But from 73 Snow Pro to 78, like it was just insane the change they went to. And then 78 to nowadays, it's like they're pretty, like same coilover suspension.
Yeah.
So it's kind of neat.
They've gotten better, but it's not like drastic, huge technological evolutions.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's really neat to see.
So yeah, it was fun. Polaris 70th in 2 weeks.
A week.
Oh yeah. Will you have the Dorothy Mercer sled running?
So yeah, it will run right now. Like,
really?
Yeah.
Well, you don't have carburetors on it, do you?
Oh, they just got to be cleaned.
Oh, sure.
So like all that's left to do is clean the carburetors, run the fuel line.
Really?
And I think it'll run.
Oh, heck yeah.
It's got spark, compression. Next thing is fuel.
Yeah.
And there we go.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So like there's not a whole lot of examples of these sleds running.
Yeah.
Like you see like these show machines.
They don't fire up.
They don't put fuel in the gas tank.
No.
So like that's kind of one of the things that I wanted to do was make a running machine out of something that's pretty cool.
When do you think it last ran?
I'm guessing the 80s.
Really?
Wow. Damn.
And you loosened up, like you can turn the clutch and everything's
Yeah,
loose. And
I went through everything. I didn't tear into the primary clutch,
oh, sure.
but then because they're enclosed Polaris clutch,
Mm-hmm.
but there's not much in the primary clutch that can fail to catastrophe to just start the sled. So, but like the secondary is all intact and there's a belt on it. I haven't, secondary sheave split.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll come open, but
Nah.
we can get the sled idling on a stand anyways.
Oh, okay. So that was my next question. If you were going to have it just running or if you wanted to be able to like spin the track.
We'll try it. I'm not scared to try it. It might just roar and die, but we'll see.
Or it might have some snap to it and just
the track just
Just starts freaking whipping.
and we'll find out which bearings need to be changed, I guess.
Yeah, you can find that out real quick.
Yeah. No, that's kind of the plan. Is just have it like so I can start it at least.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
And not just have a showroom clean
right. 'Cause
sled that does, it just gets dropped off.
There's-
and
yeah.
sits there and then picked back up.
There's no examples of one running and driving. From what I know, like I haven't seen much.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Yeah.
Could you have brought that to the Duluth National? Or is that kind of like invite only, or is there a lot of hoops to jump through to get to that?
To the Duluth National, like anybody can join, bring a sled to show.
Mhm.
It's just the quality of restorations that are there.
Oh,
So
I see.
like they do have classes. So usually there's a retired race class or like a survivor class, but I really don't know which category that one would fall under. It is a retired race sled, but it's like anybody can take a 78 JAG and race it and then put it in the put numbers on it and then put it in the retired race class. So I don't think it would get the appreciation that like what it was. It's an actual factory built, and like a factory road sled, but people raced it for years after it was done at the Polaris factory. So it's kind of, I don't know, like what to compare it to. So like, say Herfindahl sells one of his modified sleds and somebody buys it and continues racing it. And then it gets sold 6 or 8 times.
Oh, yeah.
In between then and there.
Yeah.
That's the same feeling that I have what happened to this sled.
Oh, sure.
So,
Sure. Yeah, that's interesting. Like, are you going to, okay, never mind.
Never mind.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a call and maybe, because it says in the flyer 95 and older machines at the Polaris show.
Oh, really?
I'm going to make a call and ask if I can bring our 97 up there just because that's a pretty unique machine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, like that is I don't know how your vintage era goes way farther back than mine.
Mm-hmm.
Like my cool sled vintage is 96, 97.
Mm-hmm.
Like that 96 to 03.
Yeah, I really vibe in that area too.
Yeah.
It's just I learned everything back in the day about the 70s stuff. And then, and then now the modern, we'll call it modern vintage, is really taking off right now. So, like, I'm guessing people would appreciate it being there. I just have to make sure that I can bring it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because that is like the vintage gets pushed back.
Yeah.
And like you got to accept more of years into the vintage. Like where does that line cross?
Every few years they do make new classes. So usually it's like 70 to 73, 73 to 76, 76 to 81. And then it just kind of gets bunched together from there. So I'd like to see them splitting up the classes from like the mid 80s and the 90s and the 2000s and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Here, we'll do a trivia thing for Kyle. I found a list of a bunch of old snowmobile names or manufacturers.
Yeah.
And I'll just name some off, and then you tell me if you know anything about
Any
them.
facts?
Yeah. So we seen one of these this weekend, a Bozak.
A Bosak.
Yeah, a Bosak. Bosak.
Oh, a Bosak. Was that orange machine?
Kind of, yeah, it was orangish red, I think.
Yeah. I don't know that they had any actual like dealerships, but a lot of those sleds that were kind of like one-off names were sold at like your co-op back in the day.
Sure.
So like we have a couple that were they're called Yukon Kings, but they're explicitly sold at, all the co-ops.
Oh.
So like the gully co-op would
like
be
your
selling these one-off sleds.
grain elevator, and then they had, back in the day, it was totally different than what it is now.
Yeah, totally.
So like, you had your Sears catalog, basically the same thing. Co-op was their own.
Yeah, okay.
Like you just go in and they had everything that you needed for the week. Well, snowmobiles.
You need a snowmobile. This is our co-op snowmobile. Okay.
Yeah.
Totally.
We had talked about Massey Ferguson.
Yeah, Massey Ferguson.
There was something there where you said they bought. It was an old race sled, wasn't it?
Yeah. So Massey Ferguson started out. They're big into tractors.
Oh yeah.
Stuff. Obviously,
Yeah.
a Massey Ferguson tractor.
Yep.
They had started making snowmobiles. I believe it was 71 with the Ski Whiz. 71 Massey Ferguson Ski Whiz.
Yeah.
That was their name they went with?
Yeah, and it's probably about the ugliest ugliest machine that they'd ever made. Like ever. And they really kept that going till like 73. They kept like the same machine over all them years. They kept the same snowmobile machine until they were bought out by Scorpion, bought them out. And then Scorpion kind of just ran with it. But at the time, Scorpion was making Brutes too. Brutenza was a brand. That's another totally unique machine. But Scorpion was big back in the day. And so they made a Massey Ferguson, what do they call them? A Cyclone that was the same thing as a Brute, but it was made by Scorpion. And then they also had like a Massey Ferguson, I think they called it a Ski Whiz, but then it was also the same thing as a Scorpion Whip. So they really just painted them different.
Yeah, there's like a lot of the same sleds, but just with different names on them.
Yeah,
almost.
painted different and different names. Yeah.
Ice Cat?
Ice Cat, no.
I'll be damned. Finally got one.
No. I'm guessing what that was one of them. The carts with skis on them with the big propeller on the back.
Sure.
I'm guessing that's what that one of them was.
Galaxy?
Yep, Galaxy.
The phone?
No. Coleman,
yeah. So there was kind of a unique collage there with Ski Rule. Do you know Ski Rule?
Nope.
Jacques Villeneuve raced a Ski Rule after he was done with Alouette. But Ski Rule's dating back to like 71. They had a really cool ad that they were like the same color as a Coleman grill, like the Coleman twist cans, propane cans.
Yeah.
the green,
Yeah, the green.
like the little 1-pounders.
Yep, they're little 1-pounders. So they had like their brochure was like a kit that came with a snowmobile, a sleigh, a Coleman grill, and like the Coleman twist tanks, like identical to a Ski Rule machine. So it was kind of a unique marketing there.
Get a whole set that's paint matched.
Yeah. Your grill will match your sled.
Yep.
Trying to give you like something that I've almost heard of a little bit. Chrysler.
Yeah. So like neat thing. I don't know if you've seen them, but they're like a dirt bike for the snow, but they're made in like the late 70s, early 80s. They're a little narrow track. They called them a snow bunny.
Oh, I think there was like
Snow
one.
bunny?
It was a really narrow track on the back of them that was long, and then they had handlebars. It almost looked like a Honda Trail, like a Honda Trail 90.
Yeah.
It looks just like them, but it's got a ski on the front and a long, narrow track on the back. That was made by Chrysler. It's called the Chrysler Snow Bunny.
So it's like the first edition of a timber sled?
Yep, that's what it was.
I'll be damned.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, there was
That's
a
cool.
lot of unique stuff going on.
You got a Moto Jet, a Moto Lou, and a Moto Ski.
Yeah. Moto Ski, obviously, is a big one. They started in the late 60s and then
Obviously.
went went up to the late 70s and then got bought out by Skidoo.
Yeah.
So Skidoo had made a lot of orange machines. So like your Blizzards and stuff would be called a Sonic in the moto ski trim.
Oh, sure.
And they were painted really cool. Like most unique paint schemes that I've ever seen was when Skidoo bought moto ski.
Huh. See, and then this is where they just kind of ran out of names. They had Ski Bee, Ski Doo, Ski Jet, Ski Cat, Ski King, Ski Lark, Ski Pony, Ski Ram.
Ski Pony is a really unique one. They I have one, but it's really unique. They were a tiny machine. They were just a little bit bigger than a kitty cat.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
they're tiny, but with a real, so like the same engine as like what an Arctic Cat Lynx would have.
Yeah.
Pretty much back in the day, but they were real tiny. And the one leaf spring that went out to both skis.
Whoa.
Like right in the middle?
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
One leaf spring that went out to both skis, and probably about 1.5 foot for a seat for your ass to sit on.
Yeah.
The fiberglass, the engine sat right in your lap, and they're real tiny, real unique track on them. Single drive cog right in the center, and the track was real short, just like kitty cat track, pretty much, like a 120 track would be.
Huh.
Damn.
Yeah, we have one. I want to get it running and ride it. But they also made competition models back in the day that were a dual leaf spring. So like then it actually, but they were still the same size.
Yeah.
So like, how do you race one of them things?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know?
Is that like, so that's when we do this vintage Grover vlog of all the vintage sleds.
I think that, yeah, we can see that one.
We'll be able to see that one. It
Yeah.
won't be, we'll be just crawling over sleds.
It'll
to
be
get
on the shelf.
Oh, it will.
Yeah.
to get to sleds. And then, so there's a bunch of skis and then snows.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Snowbird,
Yeah.
Snow Blazer, Snow Boss, Snow Chief, Snow Clipper, Snow Commander, Snow Craft,
Snowcraft. Yeah.
Snow Cub.
Snow Cub. Yeah. That was early, like late 60s. Yeah.
That is unreal.
But Snow Jet is another one that was,
Yep.
they were big, and then they were big into the racing. And so like Snow Jet started off in 68, somewhere there, 69, something like that. But as they were growing, of course, they made the consumer model Snow Jets. But in 71, they were totally ahead of the game on building a Thunderjet, was their competition sled.
Mhm.
So like a Arctic Cat EXT would be.
Were those two blue ones?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember.
So they're
seeing
all
those.
blue. They look really sharp.
Yeah,
but,
they did.
skid frames out of them came from Texas. They were full handmade skid frame. They only made 101 Thunderjets every year.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So I think they went to 74 and then they, but these Thunderjets are really cool. Like they totally got in with the racing and they put the engine down in the belly pan, like rather than being on top of the tunnel, put the engine down in the belly pan, cut the hood down low. So the engine had cooling, like the engine stuck out.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, there was actually a factory racer. It was a girl from Bemidji who raced a Thunderjet
Really?
for the factory. Yeah, back in the day. But they were totally ahead of the game from 71 to 74.
Huh.
Pretty neat.
Damn.
And then they got bought out by Kawasaki, and then they were Kawasaki Snowjet, and then Kawasaki got bought out by Polaris, I believe, something like that. But
And then you got a Wee-Ski
no.
or a Whip It.
Whip It, yeah.
What, the drug? That's like,
Yeah.
Huh. Oh, that was pretty fun.
when was the first snowmobile made? Do you know that?
Well, Polaris, like the earliest one that was there was a 53, but like they were making those toboggans way back in like the 40s.
Yeah, because I was thinking of like, were there any snowmobiles during like World War II?
Forerunners of snowmobiles existed as early as the 1800s.
Holy
Yeah,
shit.
so like you see those, they're toboggan sleds,
Mhm.
but they have a 4-cycle engine on them with a track and then 2 skis out front.
Mm.
Yeah. but versions of the snowmobile have been around since as early as 1910.
Okay. Damn. 'Cause, yeah, I was just thinking of like during World War I and World War II, where there's, you know, soldiers or something going on with snowmobiles up in the snow.
I was wondering that too. Like, see a lot of old military pictures of like tracked equipment going across the snow.
Exactly.
Like, what brands were advertising for military?
Yeah, exactly. Like, what? Yeah, did the military make a snowmobile for any reason?
The Cold War.
Cold War would have been a sweet one.
Yeah. Like I was thinking earlier, like, did the Nazis try to make a snowmobile?
Did you see the one of the first Yamahas that was there? 68 Yamaha?
No, I wouldn't. I can't remember.
They're really neat, but like just to jump in the game and have a sled that was already like competing. Like the best.
Well, that's the Yamaha way.
Blue Crew.
Blue Crew, they are the best.
But yeah, what would the Nazis do with a snowmobile? Like, what if they built a snowmobile?
Probably put an opposed engine in it and German engineering.
Yeah.
But a lot of the companies, like the engine companies that they used back in the 70s, were from Germany, Austria, you know, like JLO. Herth was a German company, I believe. And then they started getting into that Jap POW, Kawasaki, Suzuki.
Yeah.
They kind of took over.
Fuji. I thought it was kind of neat. Working on cars, you still see the Fuji on Subarus.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It says Fuji Industries on it.
Is that why they keep blowing up head gaskets?
The Indy 500 never had a problem with it. So if they put an Indy 500 in a Subaru, it'd probably last a long goddamn time.
Oh.
But yeah, super freaking, I don't know what the hell.
There's so much to it.
Yeah.
And like all that history just seems to be going away.
Not really, though, because you're here spouting it out. So
Yeah.
I know you're missing a shit ton, but you know a lot more than we do.
Also getting pretty old. So
Yeah.
it's like
Herf just Snapchatted me the factory Husky he rode at that enduro.
oh, sweet.
That's funny. He just just messaged me that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is sweet.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like the kids at the shop were like, I didn't know Herf was fast. I was like,
What?
yeah, he's
What?
a double-A Woods guy.
Oh, on a bike.
On a bike.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. I was going to
Yeah.
say, what the hell?
And then for Herf to say that he lapped Jesse,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and Jesse's fast on a bike.
Yeah.
So it's like, you got to be pretty freaking fast.
Oh yeah, like so he just posted to Instagram the other day where he was working on his bike for some wood stuff. So like, I wonder if he's gonna try to do a Hare Scramble by the end of this year or not. I wonder if we should give him a call.
Herf, there was a lot of 1980 snow pros at the
Yeah.
show.
But yeah, there is a Hare Scramble coming up down in Crosby,
Oh, yeah.
and I'm thinking about maybe doing it
Yeah, again, huh?
again.
You like the one.
Because this one is at Tracks North. And we went there and rode with Vince last spring, and it was a fun track. So like they use like half of the moto track, and then I don't know how far off into the woods they go, but the one guy, I can't remember his name right now, Carpenter. Maybe not. I can't. Kyle Carpenter. Maybe?
Another Kyle?
Yeah, he's a fan of the podcast. Talked to him at Brainerd, and he said to come down and do that one because it's more open.
Yeah.
It's more of an open track. So a debate about that. So we'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
God, I almost want to give Herf a call, just cold call him, but we won't.
Yeah. No. Maybe not. This show isn't big enough to start cold calling guys like that. Come on.
Well, he's obviously on his phone, but
Are we doing the Bemidji County Fair?
I was good there on I think that might have been one of my last ever races. One of my last wins on an 85.
And I'm nervous about that track with a two-stroke.
It is
Being small.
It is a small track.
That's what I struggle with at the Bagley Fair.
Yeah,
We can talk about it, but it was like definitely need more power, like short course power.
So like that's how their track usually is.
Yeah.
Like
Just a big U.
pretty much.
Yeah.
We're off on the timeline there.
Yeah. I mean this, we filmed this Wednesday.
Oh yeah. But that would be, man, I don't know what to do another fair race. I'd rather go up to Brooks.
Didn't you have fun though?
I had a lot of fun.
At the Bagley one. That was a lot of fun.
So we'll get into that here. So yeah, we had a lot of fun at the Vintage National.
Yeah. Nice to meet you, Spencer. But so long.
No, we'll see him at Heydays.
Players. No, he's not going.
No, he's not going to Players Fun.
Heydays.
We'll see him at Heydays though. And maybe Aaron Shield will listen to this and he'll be like, "Go to Arlo."
Know that guy now.
Yeah, I know you guys.
I watched when we were down at BCMX like last year or 2 years ago. Anson was down there. Anson hauls ass on a dirt bike too.
Yeah.
So he was one of the fast guys on a dirt bike too. So I just don't have that dirt bike speed.
Yeah.
Or maybe I just don't want to send it like some of those guys do.
I believe you do because you lapped me in what was it, 9 laps?
Maybe 10. We'll give you 10.
No, we'll give it 9 because we did one more lap with you in front of me.
Oh, sure. So we may or may not talk to Vince here. He is at Sturgis, and he was going to let us know.
And that's about what it was. But so our seat. Oh, let's just start off right away. So we get to the race,
the Bagley Fair.
Yeah, Bagley Fair, Clearwater County Fair, dirt bike race.
Yep. It poured rain like an hour before, 2 hours before the race. I contemplated really hard not racing.
Yeah.
Very hard.
Yeah, he told me. The beginning of the day, he's like, "Kyle, is it raining there?" I was like, "Yeah."
Oh, yeah.
No, I initially said, if it's a mutter, I'm not doing it.
That was your first thought.
Right away, as soon as I seen it was 50% chance of rain, I was like, I don't care to go play in the mud. But I left work, went right to the track, walked the track like an hour before registration, and Brandon was out there fixing it up and everything. And they had packed the jumps really nice and like the berms, so they were sealed.
Yeah.
And they held up pretty good. So that was the deciding factor for me, because when we raced there as a kid, it was more of almost a black dirt. And what Brady had told me, he said, "Oh, they used to haul it in and haul it out, but now they just leave it there." So now it's more of a sandy gravel almost. So it got really slick. I was not expecting it to be that slick for that first practice.
Yeah, it was right when we were going out. I was like getting on it. It's like, oh,
Just
like
loses it.
It hit the power band and it would just ring out. So like they had some jumps that were like the tabletops. You kind like to clear them. You kind of had to hit them at like a little bit of an angle, you know. So like first practice laps, like wheels on the ground. Carnage everywhere, people sliding around all over the place. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Like,
oh God, yeah. It was
practice. People were just
doof,
going over in the first lap. It's like wheels on the ground.
No, it was for the first lap, for the first practice session. I thought, oh boy, I should not have raced.
It's just greasy. That's all you could see.
Yeah,
like
it's just a big slap grease fest.
Yeah, like the jumps were nice, but then as soon as you're off the jump, it was just all over the place.
Like as if you mixed up a big pot of gravel sand soup and then spread it out on wet gravel.
Like
with
almost over concrete would be what it was.
Yeah. Because it's a hard gravel base right there too from the fairgrounds.
Yeah.
And then add big rocks in there too.
There's big rocks in there.
Huge 3 to 4 inch rocks all over.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because people pick them during the race and they just throw them off to the side, and then they come through, just doze it all back into the big pile, use it for the demo derby and whatnot, and then use it again next year.
Yeah, that's the dirt that they. So there's car parts in there from demo cars and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
But Brandon designed an awesome course.
Yeah, that was really fun.
Yeah.
Like all the
That's
jumps,
cool. Brandon did it. Yeah, I didn't
all
know
the
that he
jumps
did
were
that.
spaced out perfectly, so
Yeah.
like you could you had to give it to clear them, you know. So like it wasn't easy to just skip around.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, super fun design track. If it would have been dry, hard packed, like mom and dad's track, I would have felt really comfortable.
Yeah.
But it was too greasy for me to like push it and instantly wash out and fall down.
Mm-hmm.
You say that, but then first heat was 25 plus. You go out and get second.
Yeah, but that was slow going second.
Yeah,
because I was fourth off the start, and then two guys in front of me made mistakes. I was just waiting for mistakes, and then just got around them.
Yeah,
and then a rider Jeremy Groshon, just checked out.
Yeah,
like in the video, I told Jeremy, I was like, you got to give us like 5-10 second head start. Still wouldn't have been enough.
Yeah, you're an A guy that just went down to the qualifier or whatever and got ninth or whatever, and then you're racing me. Yeah, that first 25 plus, first gate drop of the year, like first start of the year. Like,
how long has it been since you raced?
It's 09.
Like, since 09
or 10, yeah, something like that. Yeah, first gate drop since then, pretty much. And I get on the line, and we're all up there, and it's like pretty chillaxed because it's 25 plus class, but there's 7 riders in it, and get out there, and it's like, yeah, this is gonna be fun. Well, get on the line, and everybody's freaking, and the gate drops. I let the clutch out, and it's going good until the rear tire hits the gate, and it just stops me dead in my tracks.
So I didn't quite understand. Like, it just died. Like, it was like just killed itself. Like, just roar.
Yeah, just from the rear tire, like, because there's a bit of a bump in the gate, and that's right where it died. So, like, I must have been fully out of the clutch by then.
Yeah,
is what I was thinking. So it was like fully taken over. The engine took over, and then got in that little divot, killed the engine. I watched the whole pack take off. I start the bike up. Yeah, take off, and then it actually wasn't that terrible because I wasn't too far behind everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, first lap, passed one guy, and then just kind of tucked it behind the rest of the pack for the first lap, and just tried to stay upright because it was still pretty greasy. And then that was only a 3 or 4 lap moto, something like that.
I thought we were doing like 5s or 6s. But
made it up to 4th place or whatever it was. Fifth place. And then that heat ended. But you did good.
Yeah, I got second behind Jeremy. So then that was a little confidence. But then C-Class.
C-Class got split up into two heats because there was 20 guys.
Yeah.
So they took a full gate, which is 10, and then 10 behind in the next class.
Yeah.
So all the fast guys got put into the freaking first heat.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of sucked for me, but I ended up getting 5th in the first heat.
Yeah.
But going out there, second heat of the night with 10 guys that are out of control. It was basically just a head game on stay upright.
Yeah.
And don't let one of these other guys get tangled up with you.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much what it was. So if you stayed upright, you were going to finish good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's where I was just survive. So luckily I got a good start on the inside. I think 3rd. I think for all my races the whole night, I was just like, my starts were pretty good.
Yeah.
Like they were top 3 starts.
You would always how we'd always line up together or whatever. You'd pull on me, and then you'd be a full bike length on me before the first corner.
Oh, sure.
And then I'd kind of just tug it behind you and then follow you into the first corner.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of goes away from there, checks out from there.
But it was just so greasy. You couldn't, at least I didn't have the confidence to lay my bike over to rail a turn or something.
You really had to find that berm to hook up the rear tire.
Yeah. Like Jesse talked about it a few times where he was 2-wheel drifting off the track, and he laid it over a couple times in turns and washed the front tire. But
I forgot to say in practice, you went out with the A and B guys.
Yeah.
But I was watching Gunner go around, and I was like, holy crap, it's greasy out there.
Yeah.
And as I'm thinking that, Gunner jumps a single off of the track. Like flies off of the track, hits a marker.
Almost into the other lane.
Yeah. Takes down a marker, and in my mind, I'm like, that's a 10-second delay. And it comes back down on the track.
Yeah, that was my one shoot moment where it was like, got sideways off that angled face.
Yeah.
And I instantly just straightened up. I was like, well, okay, just slow down and just straight off the side of the track into the side of the bank of the other jump.
Yeah.
And then just straightened out again. I was like,
Yeah. He was on the jump of the other oncoming track.
Yeah. I was like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah.
Just a close
C-class. How did you do that first heat?
I think third. Yeah.
Third. Wow. I thought you would have gotten first or second.
No, that darn Gerbrot kid, Eric.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fast.
Yeah, he is.
So his starts were good the whole night too.
Mm-hmm.
So like that was the kid that I battled a little bit when we were practicing up at Brooks
yeah.
a handful of weeks ago, where it was Parker in front of me and he was behind me.
Yeah.
And he couldn't catch me. We stayed dead even.
Yeah.
And so like he had said that down there. I was like and I was like, well, I don't think I'll be pushing it in this grease like I was up at Brooks. I'm a lot more comfortable at doing that. So, but no, his starts were on point, and I just couldn't catch him the whole night.
That was really kind of the first time I talked to them guys. Good guys.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, up at Brooks, that was the first time I ever talked to them up there. So, Josh's cousins.
Yeah. Shane Gillis.
I just the Gerbrot kids.
Yeah.
The Gerbrot boys.
There's a fucking clan of them.
Yeah. And the little Gerbrot kid.
Yeah, so we'll get into that.
Your
so,
arch nemesis.
Yeah, first heat, fucking C-class, the first heat that we were just talking about. Yeah, beat them. I think I got, what did I get in the C-class? Like 5th or 6th or something out of 10.
Yeah.
I think it was 5th out of 10 in the first heat. And then we had to go back and then do the 25 plus again.
Yep.
So 25 plus class starts. Jeremy was in it with us.
Yeah, I was third off the start there, and then quickly moved into second, rode second the whole time.
Yeah, Jeremy checked out on.
Jeremy ran over that guy, dislocated his shoulder.
That was a little ways into the race.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, yeah, I was having fun battling with some, guys that were actually my speed.
Yeah.
And then you guys were checked out. So
Yeah. Uh-huh.
like fighting with that old 2-stroke on the track, and there was a couple other kids that had 2-strokes out there. That was pretty fun. But yeah, I think we did 8 laps, and Jeremy come up on me on the 7th lap. So it would have been my last lap because
sure.
Jeremy finished his 8th lap.
Yep.
So Jeremy come up on me, and it was about that time that guy tipped it over in a corner. Jeremy coming around and was in the rut and couldn't slow down. That kid tipped over, and Jeremy smoked him. I was like, dang it. Yeah.
Well, that was when I was catching you too.
Yeah. So like the 8th lap or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was the 8th lap. Yeah. I seen Gunner like on one of the straights. I seen him. I was like, oh no.
Oh no.
He's going to freaking catch up to me when we hit these double doubles. Because like obviously his bike, it'll just over everything. And I'm just freaking smoking the clutch, trying to fucking get it to come out of the corner, for these jumps. I'm just pegged and hit the double doubles. And then we come around to the tabletop, and Gunner's right there. I was like, oh no. And we come into the whoops, and I just kind of let it get out of control. And then like hit the corner high, and I cut down, and Gunner's right on me then. Like he took the inside, I took the outside, and he's wheel to wheel with me right there. And I freaking just hammered down on the bike, and I took the inside, and you take the outside.
Yeah.
And then we come across the finish line, and my front tire was a bit past yours.
Well, yeah, because you were on the inside there, and like where I was on the outside of that finish line jump, I hadn't hit that that whole race. So like, I didn't know if that outside was greasy.
Yeah.
And we're jumping slightly at an angle.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm just going to let off here. Yeah. Otherwise we would have went across like dead
neat nuts. Yeah. So yeah, I think I got fourth.
Yeah.
That finish,
Yeah.
but the top two lapped me.
Yeah.
So, like, how does that work? You know, I got fourth, but the top two lapped me.
See, that's the argument.
Or Gunner was the second place guy, and he didn't quite lap me.
Yeah.
I just got to throw that in there. But he was going to lap me.
And that's the argument too of like C class, to where like people say I shouldn't be in C class, but like I didn't win the C class races.
Yeah.
And you just don't have the speed to. Jeremy's A. There's Jesse is a B.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to go out there and send it to keep up with Jesse.
Right.
Because like he's on the edge, like he's tipping over.
Yeah.
I don't care to do that. Mm-hmm. So like I'm comfortable at my C class 80%.
Yeah. I feel like you'd probably be safer in the B class.
Safer, yeah.
Yeah.
But like I feel like I'd rather battle for the lead in C, because we didn't win. We didn't win C class. Not like we dominated C class.
Yeah.
Or compared to battling for fourth or
But
fifth.
that was 25 plus class, so we finished fourth in the 25 plus. I finished fourth,
Yeah.
you finished second.
Yep.
And then, then it was the C final from there. And let me tell you.
This story is briefly brought up in your vlog, right?
Yeah.
Is this the story?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I want to hear a little
So
more.
we get to the C final, and we didn't know whether they were going to break it down into the first 10 or first 5 out of the first 2 heats, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Like usually you would just split up the heats, and your first 5 in the first, or you put the first 5 in the first heat, and then that's your 1, 2, 3 order. So like we get out there, and no, they decide to stack the gate. So 10 riders and 10 riders.
Yep. Because why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm put on the frickin' front gate because I finished 5th in the first race.
Exactly.
So you start me on the front gate with 20 riders all going at the same time. It's like I would have comfortably given up my spot on the front gate to somebody else. Just let them go.
I
But
think
no.
I had you on the right and the little Gerbrock kid on the left.
Yeah.
And like I told that Jackson, I was like, don't take me out. He was so far on the inside to where they were pointing at the next berm.
Yeah.
Like they had to.
Yeah, like the starting line was super narrow, but the gate was wide, so it was like
It bottlenecked up really bad.
Yeah.
in 20 feet, you're bottlenecked.
Yeah.
So we freaking gate drops.
It was like Eric, me, the other Yamaha kid.
Yeah. Well, it was all of us friends all in one spot was what it seemed
Yeah.
like every heat. So all of us friends in one spot. But then there's fucking 5 guys behind us. So gate drops and we take off going. And my bike is in pretty good position. I was like 4th behind Gunner. And then there was this Yamaha bike that come up on the outside, and I was aiming for the dirt because it's like into the corner, it's concrete all the way up to the freaking
Little berm.
little tiny berm. So I was aiming for that berm to corner off of, you know. And Gunner hits it, and there's another bike on the outside of me, so I didn't get quite into that dirt. And I let the clutch out for the corner, and the bike just smacks the ground. It spit the ass end out. And little Jackson Gerbrod's behind me, like besides me, and he did the same thing as me. He said it was with me, but he slid into me. So he did the same thing. We both laid our bikes down, and I picked mine up, and I frickin' got going as soon as I could. I looked behind, and there were still bikes coming. So I just picked it up, and I frickin' got going. And I turn around and look as I'm coming into the next corner, and there's still bikes piling up into that corner that I caused the carnage. Yeah, everybody just mashes on their brakes, and they're still just freaking piling up into the corner. So then we take off and get going, and it's an 8-lap final or whatever it was. And yeah, no, that was a lot of fun. That first start, just because I turned back around and they're freaking wadding up in the corner.
There was a few of them down that whole. When we came around the first lap, there was still like people in that corner.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Oh
I come around on the first lap. Like, I crossed the finish line, I looked over, and there was 2 bikes that were, like, scissored up, but sucked into the swing arm, and they were trying to pull them apart.
Oh,
and I was
my
like,
gosh.
oh, I caused that.
See what happens when you put me on the front
Yeah,
gate?
that's what I told Gunnar. I was like, why would they put me on the front gate?
Oh, good Christ. That's awesome.
No, so that one I rode third the entire time.
Just held third.
Yeah,
I was going at a really good pace, but there was just so much out of control.
Yeah.
Like, I just tried to keep my head, level and pick the smart lines. Well, there was a bike down in a corner after the whoops.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I was coasting through the whoops, and then there's a guy beside me in his yellow flag, and, like, he just decides to try and pass me on a yellow flag. Well, he was in the rut that I was trying to go up in to go around this down rider.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like the slowest that you can possibly move on a bike. I crept up to the down rider, and I was in a rut, like a super tall, bad rut. And I put my foot down, and the bike just fell over. I was like, God damn it. And little Jackson Gerbrat, supposedly, which he did, the results show it.
Yeah.
He said he got past me on that one. That was like pretty close to the end of the race. He said he got past me. So then I picked the bike back up and I got going again. And I forget what the finish was like, I think I got 8th or something like that. Yeah.
That's what the Gerbrat kid, he said, he took a picture of the results. He's like, here, it says I beat Kyle.
Yeah, that's what the results say. He fucking beat me. Oh, I was so ashamed of myself. The slowest tip over ever.
Mm-hmm. And somehow we got talked into doing the dash for cash.
Yeah. So then we get last race of the night. So that was pretty close to the end of the night.
Yeah.
Last race of the night is the dash for cash, and we both qualified. Well, Gunnar qualified for the C class, but somehow I qualified for.
I think they just threw you in there just for the
Like, this guy's funny to watch.
Yeah, no. It's because they took the top 5 of the 25-plus class.
Yeah.
So, I got thrown in the dash for cash. That was a lot of fun because it was riding with smart riders.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that one, somehow I got a good start from the outside with terrible gate picks. I beat Jesse off the start.
Nice.
And he passed me over the double right in front of the grandstands. But yeah, it was I got 5th in the dash for cash. I was stoked on that.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty good.
I told Mandy, because like it's all about your expectations you put on yourself. I was more stoked on a 5th in the dash for cash than a 2nd at Pine Lake.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe
For
that.
$50.
Uh-huh.
yeah, I mean, yeah.
Because you don't want to get second at
Going
Pine
into
Lake.
Pine Lake, your expectations are to win.
Yes.
Your goal is set to win.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know how the race was going because it was just such a debauchery.
Yeah.
It was 10 laps and Gunnar lapped me. Oh, no. So when Gunnar was going to pass me, it was on like lap 8 or something like that of 10. So it was pretty consistent. Every 8 laps, Gunnar would catch up to me. But we were going, and it's like the tabletop across the finish, and then it's a single onto a flat straight into a corner. And I seen Gunnar at the tabletop. He was kind of on the inside of me, and then it goes into a left-hand turn, so he was on the outside of me. Well, I'm freaking heading towards this corner, and I thought in my head, I heard, Kyle, no! Because I was heading towards this freaking rut. But Gunnar was on the outside of me. His front tire was right there. And I started turning to the right, and Gunner's sitting right there.
So, yeah, like, we came over that single, and you were, like, heading towards the inside line. Like, you had the inside line.
It was just because it was kind of greasy. Like,
Yeah.
like the natural flow was to the inside and then
flowed back out.
yeah.
So like that's where I thought you were going to the inside over that hump.
Yeah. So Gunnar decides to try and pass me there.
Pass him on the outside because I feel like he's here. He's gonna go towards the inside line, and yeah, I'm coming up alongside of him, and he's slowly moving farther and farther out to where like we almost touch. We were close to touching, and like I'm pulling up alongside of him, and the trailer's right here and everything. There's people watching, and I'm just like, what? And I have to just doggy paddle my way around the outside in the grease and the slop because I had never been out there that whole race. And like, oh my God, that could have, if we would have taken each other out, oh God.
Yeah, you were in 4th or 5th or whatever, and then I was in bringing up the rear somewhere. I didn't get last, but it felt like it.
At least you didn't get last.
Yeah. I was thinking back on it. I was stoked that Jeremy didn't lap me in that. So
that's a good.
Jeremy wanted to try to make it 20 laps. I told him I'd do it for 20 laps.
Yeah, 20 laps. I feel like I probably would have had a better chance.
Yeah,
but
past one or two more guys.
Got lapped once or twice more. But
But no, we had a blast at the Bagley Fair.
Yeah,
I liked DMC Motorsports put on a great show.
Yeah,
I liked how fast they were going through the races.
That was great.
It was the last bike came off the track and the gate was dropping for the next race.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. It went good like that. It wasn't a redneck shit show.
No,
that's awesome to hear.
It was fast.
That's cool.
So it went by fast.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So that was good. Well, we'll try to call Vince here for a second, and then if he don't answer, we'll just talk about my Hare Scramble.
We're already an hour and a half into this.
Really?
Yeah.
So Vince is at Sturgis, so he's probably getting Hell Yeah Brothers left and right now. Mm-hmm. But if he answers, he said there was a chance. He said there might not be. If not, we'd call Herf.
Cold call.
It's not looking like
gonna happen.
Not looking like Vince is gonna pick up.
Nope.
Hi, you've reached Vince Van Slyke.
Nope. Sorry, we didn't reach you, Vince.
Vince Van Slyke.
Maybe I should have lined up somebody else. I should have lined up Nick Swenson. That would have been a good talk. So go down to Brainerd, border battle XC from our first ever Hare Scramble. Get down there Saturday morning. Gary Walton, the promoter, pulls up to me and Vince. First thing he says is, "Hey, Shop Talk podcast."
Hey, hell yeah, that's cool.
Hell yeah,
yeah. So it was like, that's who I'm.
That's
my name now.
Shit, yeah.
So that was pretty cool. But no, Gary was super cool. I asked him a bunch of questions throughout the weekend on how stuff works and whatnot. But no, he was the whole woods community is different than the motocross community. Like, they are just stoked. They're so stoked to be there. Every person that I seen come up and talk to Vince was just happier than hell to be like in the 90 degrees in the woods. Like,
yeah, they want it rough and tough, and they're just there to have fun.
Yeah.
And they don't.
Like, it's a very different atmosphere.
Yeah. They're just happy to ride together. Is it real? Does it feel like a race? Because that's like what I'm picturing. Like
for me, no, but for like the top guys, I'm sure yes. So like, so I got to go out on a few parts with Vince on a pit bike just to put up some flags and whatnot, help him do that. So that was like the only time you get to see the track, and like people bike it the whole Saturday. Like you can bring an e-bike and ride the whole track on an e-bike or regular bicycle. But we just went and put up a few flags, so I got to see a little bit of the track. But like the people that go into it blind, like it's like going into a cross country race with no parade lap. That was unreal. So I raced C Open, 19 guys in my class. It was the funnest part was like it started in a hayfield, and so you're going through a hayfield like fourth gear pinned. Yeah, going from hay bale to hay bale in the turns. So that was pretty fun. I got cut off coming into one of the turns, like towards the end, and the guy like purposely totally pushed me outside because I was coming up right alongside of him. We'd raced out of the corner, and I swore at him because it was like me on a sled where you'd push a guy wide and like make him hit a stick or something.
Yeah.
Where he purposely pushed me like way out of the apex of the corner, and so I was like, "You MFer," under braking, so I know he could hear me unless he had earplugs in. But it was like that was my mentality right off the start.
Yeah.
Of like I'm going out there to have fun, and I'm just cussing a guy out coming into like the 6th corner. But I was second going into the woods out of 19, so I was pretty happy with that.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good.
And then I get into the woods, and like I knew my pace, but I instantly get into the woods and start pushing it a little bit harder because it rained that morning, and I never dealt with wet tree roots.
Oh yeah, slippery.
Wet tree roots are like little slivers of ice. It is unreal on how those guys can hit those tree roots and their front end not just go woof, woof, woof. So I instantly get in the trees, hit a tree root, smack a little sapling tree with the outer 2 fingers of my left hand. And my first thoughts were like, that's your brake hand for snowmobiling. What are you doing? So I kind of dialed it back a little bit and then found like a little bit of a flow, and I killed it once. Got passed by like 2 or 3 guys there. And I think those were like the 2 or 3 guys that beat me, that were ahead of me. But like my lap times were consistent. I was like 5th, 4th, and 5th. So my lap times were consistent, and then that is a fun track, but it was a lot tighter than I was expecting.
Yeah, that GoPro video that you showed us, there was a lot of tight, just like you're almost fishing your handlebars through the.
When the outside of your handlebar hits a little tree, and it didn't hit your hand, but it hit your handlebar, and you can feel that. That's where you're like, oh boy, that was close.
Yeah.
And that happened multiple times. Yeah, and it's like, oh.
Yeah, it's like, oh, that could have been bad. I almost crashed hard twice on the same root, 2 laps in a row, where it was crisscrossed roots where they were like that, and like almost over the bars. The same thing 2 laps in a row until that 3rd lap, the last lap. I totally avoided it. I was like, okay, I know where that one is now. But no, it was fun. Like it rained that morning, so there's no dust really.
Yeah.
And then like the hay fields were kind of sandy almost. So like there was 1 or 2 or 3 corners in those hay fields where they bermed up nice to where you could hit them like a moto track almost. So I made a lot of passes in the hay field.
Yeah.
Just because I was
a little more confident
with going 3rd, 4th gear wide open with the speeds on my bike in those conditions. But no, those guys in the woods, like the guy who won our C open class, he wasn't even close to C speed. Like he was way fast. He just checked out.
Yeah.
As soon as we got in the woods, I was like, yeah, you're not a C guy. But no, that was fun. So yeah, I'm already thinking about maybe doing that one down in Crosby. We'll see or not. It is fun to ride. It was an hour 13 or 14 minutes I was out there.
Nice.
So yeah, it was fun. We were down there. I was hung out with Jesse, parked next to them. Longtons were down there.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Dan Revering was there. So it was fun to see some snowmobile guys in the middle of
Dan Revering looked shot at the end of that.
Yeah, it was because they went out there. It was so hot out for those guys. Like I was standing there on the starting line with Jesse, sweating, just pouring sweat, and like Dan was holding a really good pace too. So like I don't know what happened, but yeah, they were going fast, and it was super hot. So I don't like we'll see if I do the 2-hour sportsman one down in Crosby for 2 hours, because then I'd have to stop and get fuel.
Yeah.
But then that is also on Sunday. So I don't know if I want to do it on Saturday or Sunday. Just to race for 1 hour. I get enough fun out of that.
Oh, yeah. Just seeing that GoPro footage, it'll be fun to ride in that. Just trail ride like that track. Just go out there for fun.
Like if you have a destination, like if that's bringing you from point A to point B, like if you're trail riding from this bar to that bar.
Yeah.
Kind of.
It would be really cool to do. Yeah.
That's another thing I kind of thought about, like, depending on how this race season is going to go, is like a shop talk ride day.
Yeah.
Just a trail ride.
Like a trail ride.
Yeah.
Sure.
So if we got, us three together, your old man, Colin, Ben,
Yeah.
Tom, just have a ride day, but then like anybody can come if they want to.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
If you're listening,
Yeah.
hit
Go
us up
from-
about it.
Go from like Pine Lake to Gully to,
Yeah, do a loop around here.
yeah.
I think would be fun.
Yeah, no, I'd be interested in that.
Yeah, I thought that would be just a weekend that's nice, and if we have snow, and go for a little cruise.
If we have snow, yes.
yeah,
And whoever wants to show up and ride with us,
yeah,
that'd be
try
kind
and
of
get
cool.
like Brady or something.
Yeah.
Come with. That would be fun.
Oh, heck yeah. So, yeah, then I helped Jesse with his fuel stop for his B class.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, I was all prepped and ready for the fueling. Had the cap off, had the vent off, had goggles on my head, had a water in my pocket with no cap on it.
Risky move.
Well, no, it was, so I was ready with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he had a Camelback on. I think he drank all of it. And so he comes up. I'm expecting like a fast stop, like go, go, go. He shuts the bike off and he pulls his Camelback off. He's like, this is way too hot. And then I give him the water. Like I was expecting to pour that water on his back.
Yeah.
So like, I didn't know he wanted more to drink because I thought that Camelback would have been enough, or else I would have had a cold water there for him.
Yeah.
So yeah, dumped gas, and then he did 4 laps. So then I thought about it afterwards. I don't even know if we needed to dump gas or not. But so that was pretty fun to kind of be a part of his race and help him a little bit.
Yeah.
But so that Nick Swenson, he raced with Carver like 2 years ago, I think, for like 2 seasons. I think he tried snowmobile racing. He put on a clinic in the woods. Like I knew he was a Hare Scramble moto guy, but like he did really good. Him and Troy Horbati battled like as fast as I could imagine going through the woods for 2 laps, and then Troy broke a chain. So then Nick just started checking out from there. And he was it was overlooked, but he was on a demo Triumph.
Oh, really? Yeah. I heard they were going to have demos there.
Yeah. So then he just talked to those guys and like, hey, you want to Triumph on the AA line?
Yeah.
He's like, so I don't know how much time he had on that bike at all.
Yeah.
And then to go out there and win on it.
Yeah. Huh. That's sweet.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool. I was sitting next to the fuel stops and everything. And then, cause that's where all the action happens, where the gas stops.
Uh-huh.
So I'm just sitting there watching as a total fan. I hadn't even talked to Nick Swenson or their dads or anything. All the A guys are over there, and he pulls in for gas and then dump gas. And it's a new bike, and I don't think it had a clear tank on it, so you can't see how much gas is going into it. His dad's dumping gas for him, and just poof,
Oh no.
just spews out. And I'm sitting there like this watching it. It's like, oh, no rag. Like I'm like 25, 30 yards away. Like, oh, no rag. And like his dad's like this, pulls his shirt off.
Oh no.
Right there to use his shirt as a rag.
Yeah.
I was laughing. It was like, all right, that's how you got to do it.
Yeah.
That's
right.
freaking awesome.
Yeah.
There was like a second or two of hesitation until he just started buttoning his shirt and pulled it off and used his shirt for a rag. So I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, there was that quick thinking.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And then, so they do it for 2 hours, and there's a clock, and like you have to make it to that 2 hour mark. So like let's say the clock hits 2 hours, they're just gonna get, I think, the checkered flag. But Nick came around with like a minute under 2 hours,
So he had to go out for another
so he had
lap.
to go do another lap. He was the only guy to have to go out and do 6 laps.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he's 2 minutes ahead of the next guy.
Oh,
Before
yeah.
he had to finish.
Yeah, I don't know how many minutes ahead he was a second place, but yeah, he was the only AA guy, the only racer that had to go do another lap because everybody else, they just gave the checkered
Finished.
flag.
Yeah.
And he came through there in that hay section, and that's when me and Joey and his dad were talking, and he just came through there just hauling ass through that hayfield chop.
Yeah.
And his dad's like, yeah, he's probably pissed he's got to do another lap. But that was no. So then I went up to him, and Vince were talking after the race, and I went up and shook his hand. I was like, "Hey, Gunnar Arlo, He's like, oh, a snowmobile guy.
Yeah.
So that was
That's
funny
cool.
that he knew me.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, a lot of respect for how fast you're going through the woods. Like, unreal.
Yeah.
He's like, hey,
Insane.
I think the same thing about how you guys pitch the sled into the corners on the ice. So I had to like think of that for a second. I was like, that is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, game, respect, game.
Yeah. Like,
That's sweet.
he's way closer to me on a snowmobile than I'm on a dirt bike to him.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was so like I wanted to get Vince on to talk and to be like, so he put on a clinic there, but then you got to think of the best woods rider ever of Caleb Russell, the top GNCC guy, like 8-time champion.
Yeah. Freaking.
The difference between him and Nick.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
like watching Nick, it's like, how could you go through the woods any faster of over them slick tree ruts? Like he lapped Jesse, and Jesse said it was like 1-2 corners gone.
Yeah.
Couldn't even see him. So like,
Freaking.
so I missed the opportunity there. Maybe we should have talked to him.
That kind of, so local guy, Jared Pranier,
Oh yeah.
was down at Loretta's racing the 30+ class. And usually, you know, around here, he'll just put on a clinic on everybody. And it's like, holy crap.
Yeah.
You know, like how is he doing that? And even to make it to Loretta's is like a big achievement, but he ended up getting 13th overall in the 30+ class at Loretta Lynn's.
Yeah.
So
Damn.
Yeah. And like I think we talked about him before, like his cruising pace at Brooks is like my sprint pace.
Yeah,
And
for
just
sure.
Like, how are you doing that?
Yeah.
Like, so that's, we could have talked to him too about how Loretta's went.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking, I was like looking at the results of Loretta's in the 30+ class. It says Solway, Minnesota, Jared Trapani. Represent. But I don't know if he's south of the tracks or north of the tracks is the thing.
Sure.
So
In your area.
yeah, that's where it differs. You know. It's really hard to make it if you're south of the tracks.
But no, it was fun. And I had a few people say they listen to the Shop Talk podcast.
Great.
So that was pretty cool.
Well, thank you.
But yeah, would you do the Crosby one?
I don't know that I would. I mean, just comparing my bike to everybody
Well, there's
else.
a lot of 2-strokes in the woods, though.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
And there's a lot of little fast 85 kids.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Like Jesse said, oh, you got the 85 kids starting behind you. And sure enough, there's like 3 or 4 that have passed me.
Yeah.
And like there was one fast kid that Vince followed behind for just a sight lap because they were trying to get times on how fast the lap was. He said that little bike in the tight woods was just
Weaving, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd maybe do it. See about the Beltrami thing first.
Sure. But yeah, I suppose. Ah, man, do we race another fair race?
It was fun. But
It was fun, but that one's even tighter. And
Yeah.
in the sand. I mean,
Yeah.
I like the sand.
Yeah, and the 2-stroke in the sand wouldn't be.
Just let that thing bark.
Just burn that clutch.
Second gear, just triple clutch. Oh, man.
I felt so bad doing it off the start. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's where I have a VS3 rant.
Oh, yeah.
VS3 suspension. Forks and shocks. He'll hit you up. He'll
He'll
do it. He'll do it.
He'll do it. So
Let's hear this rant, eh?
So there's the C class, 1624 class at the fair. There's kids on 4-strokes. You're sitting there on the line. Wop, 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 wop,
Yeah.
wop. One kid will do it. This kid do it. This kid do it. The next kid do it. 3, 4, 5 of them sitting there on the line, like 30-second board's not even up.
Mm-hmm.
Sitting there, wop, 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 on the rev limiter.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It's a 4-stroke.
Yeah.
It's warmed up. Like
They don't know what a valve spring is or what it does.
Yeah. It's like, it's not a 2-stroke. A 2-stroke, you can sit there, rev it up a little bit, clear the pipe out, make sure the pipe temp is hot, clear it out. The 2-stroke, you don't even need to hit the rev limiter.
No, you just give it a couple good burps and usually it's cleared out. But these 4-strokes, they're on limiter before, and you don't need to do it.
No.
You don't, it's a 4-stroke. The pipe temp is there.
Yeah.
You don't need to clear it out.
You don't have to have, so a 2-stroke, that's how it works, is like pipe temp.
Yeah.
You know? 4-stroke, it's there, but it's like not like what a 2-stroke is, but they're still clearing it out. They're fuel injected bikes.
Yeah. you want pipe temp, sit there and hold it at half throttle. Just sit there and it's going to get way hotter than you going whop, 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 whop.
Just think about what the engine is doing when you're fucking bop, 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 bop. There's valve springs in there, and those valve springs are set for a certain tension. You know, like when your cam goes up and down, and your spring is closing your valve. There's not enough time for that spring to close that valve before the cam comes around again. So your valves are just floating in there. And the spring is just, you can't imagine what that spring is going through.
Going at Mach Jesus.
Yeah.
Where like, it was Jesse's buddy, Matt Lamorier, like came up to me and he's like, what are they doing? Like, what, like we both looked at each other like with our hands like that. It's just, I wanted to go up in front of the gate and just like, stop.
So, what are you doing?
Like, why are you doing this? Like, you go to the Pro National, you see Eli Tomac put his bike on the rev limiter. No, they're sitting there like rum, not on the rev limiter.
No.
Please tell me why you're doing it.
It sounds cool.
It sounds cool.
Yeah. Who knows why they're fucking doing it?
Well, stop it.
For real. You paid attention to me at the county fair. Yang, yang, pipe's hot. It's good to go.
I would literally, when Johnny was like getting walked over to the doghouse, I'd start my bike and I would just sit there.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like,
and then as he's pointing at us, that's when I would click it into gear, hold the clutch, and then start revving it up when he's on his way back.
Yeah.
And then let the clutch out as the gate drops, obviously.
Yep. So yeah, you do not need to hit the rev limiter on your bike on the starting gate.
Yeah, or anywhere close before the gate drops. Like, even that amount of time that he's walking back to the gate to drop the gate, that's enough time to get your fucking pipe hot.
Yeah. So yeah, that was my VS3 rant there of
unless you have like a 450 main jet and an old 2-stroke, you don't need to be clearing it out like that.
No, not at all. So yeah.
Hour 46.
I can't see it at all.
Hour 46.
Huh.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Talking about vintage nationals and dirt bike racing.
Yeah, what are we gonna title this Kyle's Knowledge or something?
No, I was thinking vintage nationals, fair racing, and hare scrambles.
Yeah, that's a good one. People know what it's about then.
Yep, pretty much. What else do we got going on then? So now
it'll be coming the following weekend would be Polaris's.
Polaris 70th. We are maybe doing off-site show.
Maybe.
Brody, you will not be here.
I will not be there, so don't mess with anything.
No, I'll just be putting the board and mics and maybe table.
You have to be the tech guy to know the sounds.
Oh, I'll know.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's not that hard.
No.
Just some dials.
Middle of the board, it looks like.
Sort of. A little above the middle.
All right.
Yeah, I'll walk you through it a little bit.
I got it.
Like on these buttons and the levels and everything.
I got it.
It's not that hard. 1 or 2 dials, all it takes.
Yeah.
How's your running going?
Good. Finally I've been slacking a little bit.
Why?
So, been busy. It's been a busy summer. So yeah.
Clearwater County Fair came this week, and I was like, we went for 2 nights, me and Katie did.
Yeah.
Way over my calorie intake.
That's what you do when you go to the fair.
Yeah, I did. Let me try Vince one more time here. And
Jesus Christ.
Oh, no. Almost called Verizon Roadside Assistance. But no, I got a couple cookies at the fair.
Mm-hmm. I seen that Bargs.
Yeah. Yeah, it is this week, though. And I worked out this morning, so I can have a rip here.
I didn't work out this morning.
But no, I've been going hard again now this week. Yeah.
How many miles did you do yesterday morning?
Well, just 6.
I thought you were going to do 8.
Nah. No, it started raining.
Oh.
It was, I was getting sprinkled on right when I was getting home, so it's it's a good thing I cut her short.
Sure.
But I don't have any chews. any gummies that he
Oh.
chews to run with. When you're getting up into the 8 and 10 miles, I'd like to have some calorie
Especially
chews.
how hot it's been too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad this
And
next
so-
week looks cooler.
Uh-huh, totally.
So concrete might be going in this week.
Ooh.
Yeah.
After work one day or what?
Donnie Killian.
Oh, he's just gonna do it.
I think so.
Oh, I see.
I told him I'd give him a hand, so just let me know when
Sure.
he's planning on doing it. But he's going to put the forms up this week and, yeah, hopefully get her in there.
Yeah. So like yours it's 2 levels you have, or no, you're all at one level now.
It's all leveled off. Yeah.
How thick are you going?
Just 4 inches.
4?
Yeah. Yeah. So looking forward to that. So I don't know how the Princeton swap meet will be going, if I'll be buying a lot of shit or just keeping my hands in my pockets.
When's that one after?
The 23rd, I think, something like that.
Oh, so then that would have been probably the week after Polaris Nationals.
I think it's 2 weekends after. I'm not positive.
August 23rd?
Yeah, I think.
No, that's the next weekend.
Okay. So yeah, Princeton, and then heydays after that.
Yep. Well, no, we'll have a heyday before heyday show, and we'll be at heydays, like do two shows there.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, episode 43. High five.
I thought that's what you were going for. I don't know what you were doing.
Thumbnail.
Okay,
What are
cool.
you doing with that?
Waving.
Oh,
Sure.
Yeah, you're like that guy off of Mr. Deeds, where he's like, there's a wizard trying to cast a spell on me. I don't know, maybe he was just waving.
me and Mandy do a game sometimes when we're driving, like when you're meeting somebody, like going through town or something, and you see somebody like yawning. It's like, was that person yawning or yelling? Merch.
Oh yeah, new hats.
New hats on the screen. We got a lighter gray with a white and black patch, or we have some of our OGs, dark gray with a leather patch. $25 a hat, $5 shipped to you if you need it shipped. Just sent one out to Town Brother Racing in Michigan.
Hell yeah.
So, Matt Town, I think.
Mm.
There's so many towns.
Yeah, you got that right. Towns.
In the U.S., yeah.
Uh-huh.
Gonvick, Clearbrook, Leonard.
Tyler
Kyle.
Town. And
Oh, yeah. Oh, maybe it was Tyler Town.
The town of Kyle.
yeah.
No, I got to look.
Oh, Jesus Christ. On the show.
We'll just make sure I give the right shout out.
Okay.
Yeah, Tyler Town.
Yeah.
Yep.
There you go.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Awesome.
43
In the books.
Thanks to Dorn Hainstra, and thank you to
Jesse. What do they call it? North Star.
North Star Floor Service.
Yeah, there you go.
Jesse Hallstrom.
Perfect.
And Dorn.
Really original name, Jesse.
He's a kid. What do you expect? Pretty good. Cool.
Okay. 3 or 4 different thumbnails at the end of the show.
Yep.
All right.
I
Thank
think
you.
The one with the hat is the best. See ya.